Today we're going to be going back to solving polynomials, but we're going to discuss how to solve polynomials that are not factorable. So we spent a lot of time on solving polynomials when you had to factor by grouping or when they're in quadratic form. So the problems that we're going to look at today, I can't group them, so the only other option is to use synthetic division, which we spent some time on for the past few days. So I'm going to show you an application of that. So you're going to skip the top of your page for now. We're going to come back to that for tomorrow's lesson. So you're going to go down to example 2. So 15x cubed minus 32x squared plus 3x plus 2. So it's to the third power, so we know we need 3 answers. And notice off to the side I wrote that x equals 1/3. So right now I'm telling you that one of your 3 answers is a positive 1/3. So we are going to use this to our benefit, and we're going to do synthetic with this first answer that I'm giving you. I'm not changing the sign here because I'm telling you that x is 1/3, so it's already been solved for. So we still put our coefficients, so 15, negative 32, 3, and a 2. And we do the whole synthetic process, so I drop the 15, I multiply 1/3 of 15 is 5. When I add, I get negative 27. 1/3 times negative 27 is a negative 9. When I add, I get negative 6. And 1/3 times negative 6 is negative 2. So that means I get no remainder. The reason I get no remainder is that because 1/3 is an answer or a solution or a root or a zero, any of those terminologies you'd like to use to the problem. So that means I'm now down to the second power. So I'm now down at 15x squared minus 27x minus 6 equals 0. Now when I look at this, to make the numbers just a little bit smaller, I can divide this entire problem by 3 or factor a 3 out. So if I pull a 3 out, I'm left with a 5x squared minus 9x minus 2 equals 0. Now we're going to go ahead and factor. So I would do 5 times negative 2, which is a negative 10. And the combination that multiplies to be negative 10 and adds to be a negative 9 is a negative 10 and a positive 1. Now this 3 that I pulled out front, we can kind of disregard that because it's just kind of like reducing the number, so we can kind of just take that out of the problem. So I have 5x squared minus 10x plus 1x minus 2. Obviously those of you who do the box, go ahead and switch over to the box now. So I group my first 2, group my second 2. I could take a 5x out of the first quantity, and I'm left with an x minus 2. And I'll take a 1 out, and I'm left with an x minus 2. So this will factor down to be 5x plus 1 and an x minus 2. So from this I get 2 additional answers, and my other 2 answers that I would get is that x equals negative 1/5 and that x equals a positive 2. And these answers are coming from those binomials right there. I gave you the first answer. So there's your 3 answers. So let's try the next one. So again, for right now, I'm going to give you that first answer. Eventually this will go away, but this is just to get you familiar with the process. So I give you the first answer, so you do synthetic with that first answer. So we're going to start by doing synthetic with a positive 2. So I write my coefficients, 2, 1, negative 7, and a negative 6. So I drop the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Negative 7 plus 10 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So we get no remainder. Again, the answer to the problem will always give you no remainder. If you get a remainder, then you're doing something wrong in that step. So this means I'm now down to a 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 equals 0. I've now reduced the problem. So I'm looking for my combination that multiplies to be 6 and adds to be a 5. So we're dealing with a 3 and a 2. So I'll do box this time. For those of you non-boxers, go ahead and do your other method. So I'll have a 2x squared, a 3x, a 2x and a 3, finding the outside. So we will find, first column I can take out a 2x, first row an x, second column a 3, and bottom row I can take out a 1. So this will factor to be 2x plus 3 and an x plus 1. So from these two binomials, I get an answer of -3/2 and a -1. So my three total answers is that x equals 2, which was given, x equals -3/2, and x equals -1. So there's our three answers. Again, we know we get three answers because of that exponent right there. So that's all for today. We'll pick up with this tomorrow.